Hey, everybody. I'm really excited to be here. So let's get started. Would you like to be more productive as well as feel more calm in your daily life? Well, today I'm going to talk about something that is really, truly going to help you become much more productive. And it's going to be about something that you probably haven't thought of before as something that will impact your productivity. So, you're going to learn how to make a workspace that can live up to the vision that you have to make a difference in the world with your gifts. In order to do that, you will need a few simple systems in place. We'll talk about how to have every day of your life feel like a spa life, how you can set up your environment, your office, including your desk, to support you in that. I'm Diane Halfman. I'm a Spa Life mentor, speaker, and organizational expert. I bring alignment to your outer world so every day feels like you just walked into a spa. That way, when you talk to people about your mission, you are more clear, find things faster, and are taken much more seriously. So, why I want to talk with you today is I know that you want to feel good and make sure that you're getting all your stuff done. Because when you feel good, you're more energized about sharing your mission. So, when that is in alignment with a space that is organized, it makes your daily efforts easier. So, today we're going to talk about your physical environment, your physical space around you, and what you're going to do with all that stuff. So let me connect the dots for you about why having a spa life will make you much more productive. The reason we're going to talk about organizing is for what being organized brings to your life. First off, I want you to know that creativity craves clarity and simplicity. For you to be creative, you have to have space. That's why artists start with a blank canvas. If you have any kind of creative job or entrepreneurship and you want to create something, you need to have space. Now, I know you have a big impact that you want to have on this world. A perfect example is my client Linda, who was an accomplished author. A while ago, she was trying to start her second novel. The problem was that she was in serious writer's block. Have you ever been stuck trying to do something creative but can't seem to get started? Well, that's where Linda was. She was stuck. Linda flew me to her home in the Midwest for 5 days. We talked, and I was able to figure out a plan for her that I knew would work. We removed all the things that didn't represent who she was in terms of clutter. Now, we removed 100 full boxes of unfinished products, unpacked, scaled down, and cleared out over 40 years of clutter and anything that didn't support her present and future goals. 2 weeks after our 5 day VIP intensive, she finished her book. Yes, you heard me right. 2 weeks. What a great success that was. And what a great investment in both time and money that paid off huge. Talk about some ROI. So, by removing all the barriers that were keeping her from completing her book, she was able to have the inspiration and clarity to put her vision into words and into print. Now, while you may not have that level of clutter in your life, let's remove whatever clutter you do have so you can experience that kind of result. So, the second thing is that you need to have space for success. So, let's face it, if you don't have the space for success, like on your desk, your calendar is completely full, your to do list is completely full, you feel overwhelmed, and your desk is covered with papers and you can't find stuff, where is success going to go? Let me to ask you that again. If you have all this clutter going on in your life, where is success going to go? Your life is too full. Success is looking for a home. You know that success is out there and it's going to rain on the people who have the space to collect it. If your desk is covered with papers, then you are sending out into the world energetically as well as physically that you don't have the room to be successful because you don't have the space. So, you actually have to create space. You have to create physical space in your environment to have things show up that you care about. For example, if you want someone to give you a $50,000 check for a contract, then you better make space on your desk to do the proposal. Then put that proposal away, hopefully in a place where you can find it, so you can create the space for that check to appear. Does that make sense? If you're not creating the space on your desk, how are you bringing in success to your business? If you're not creating space on your calendar, how are you going to create space for new clients? If you have no money and no time, then you're telling me you have no space for anything new. That also means you have no space to improve. Now, there are some of you who may have tricked yourself. You've hidden things away and you're just hoping that your drawers don't spring open. Does this look like you? Please know that you are also subconsciously eating away at your success because you put a band aid over something. If you're treating your space, if you are treating your space in a careless and sloppy way, you are also attracting supporters who are careless and sloppy and how they're showing up for you. So, the third thing is if your home is your sanctuary, then your office is your creative realm. So, you want every room, your papers, your space, and your office to be a true representation of the success you imagine for yourself. So, what I'm going to teach you today is how to make that happen in your space. And then I'm going to go into my system, which is called the reset system, and how you can apply it. I'm going to use the example of paper and organizing in your office. However, you can also use the reset system to organize all the rooms in your home so that every room is doing the job that it should. Your bedroom will feel like a sanctuary and a peaceful place. Your office will feel like your creative realm and a place of prosperity. Your kitchen will feel like a place where you can be nourished and have wonderful family time. We want every space in your home and every space in your office to represent what it's supposed to. When people put these principles into place, they have the opportunity to enjoy what I call the spa life. It is my mission to have people up-level their space so that it creates the feeling that you want to experience in that space. So let's take a look at what I'm talking about when I say spa life. Imagine yourself standing at the entrance of this spa. How does it feel? Notice the clear floors and open space. It invokes being taken care of, serenity, being restored. I mean, how much sacred space do you have in your home? It's this feeling of sanctuary that I want you to bottle up and take into your own home for the feeling that it provides. One thing I love about this spa is the bridging of the floor. It symbolizes walking from the outside world into an inner sanctum. It is my intention for you to have the doorway to each room of your home be the bridge to what you want to experience in each room. I mean, how would your life be different if you felt more productive in your office and felt more peace in your bedroom simply by creating the environment to inspire that experience? One of the things I love about a spa space is fresh flowers to have an appreciation of beauty. I mean, what beautiful things do you want to bring into your space to bring a smile to your face every time you see it? Notice how lighting shifts your experience in a room. I mean, candled light lanterns can signal a shift of energy walking into your home to have the intention of a clear and calm space. Having these in your bedroom can signal peace, rest, and romance. How we organize a room pulls us into the experience we want to have. Now, this home is an example of how you can start to use spa principles to inspire your own home. Notice the symmetry of the plants and that inviting feeling. You may be wondering, but where would I put all my stuff? There are ways to keep things off the floor, have storage, and know exactly where something is. Walking into this home, your eye catches the beauty of fresh flowers. From a practical standpoint, using multiple baskets keeps things orderly at the front door while still enjoying a clutter free walkway. Even just having one big basket can capture shoes and allow visual pleasure of an open floor and peace of mind. You can get creative and use a tray to line up shoes and be able to not trip on them while walking in your front door. You can also use a beautiful vase or pitcher to hold umbrellas that look nice as well as functionally capture water and dirt. So notice how this home has a similar feeling to a spa. The clear floors, the open space, a bit of nature, and a few inspiring and thought provoking pieces. Walking into this home feels special. I mean, we've all heard your home is your castle. However, how many of you have organized it in a way for you to be proud, productive, profitable, and peaceful? I believe we can create this by getting more organized. You are in the right place if you're thinking, I'd love to get organized, but I'm wondering, how do I make the time to do all this? You are in the right place if you're thinking, every time I start to get organized, I get sidetracked. And you are also in the right place if you're thinking, I'd love to have my home and office be a true representation of me. So, your systems, which is the S in my reset system, are your answer to so many problems that you're experiencing. I had to learn this the hard way. One day, a few years ago, well, actually a lifetime ago, I walked into the front door of my home and I instantly knew something was wrong. You know that feeling. You know that something is wrong. You don't know what is wrong. You just know something is wrong. And I knew it was something big. I had that gut feeling. And I soon found out that my husband was leaving me. We had been married for 6 years and we had two daughters, 4 and 5 years old. I was devastated. I was a brand new police officer working night shifts, and my life as I knew it shattered. My life looked great on the outside. However, what I didn't share with anyone was how much chaos I was feeling in the inside. I mean, I remember walking around feeling like I was drowning. I mean, have you ever had that feeling? I mean, the weight of dealing with the sudden turmoil in my life quickly felt like an extreme burden. I mean, my days were filled with being a single parent, caring for my two young daughters, and learning a new job as a police officer. In order to deal with this, I stopped dealing with it. I mean, I was going from a life where I had everything mapped out to everything being thrown into a frenzy where it was just nearly overwhelming. I mean, I didn't care about keeping things organized. I was just trying to get through the day. Have you ever had days like that? I mean, I stopped opening my mail and the piles grew rapidly. I started working 16, 18-hour days just to keep myself exhausted so I didn't have to think about what was happening in my life. What used to be my perfect put together life became a series of sleepless nights, working long hours, and avoiding going home. In fact, I spent a lot of time hanging out at my parents' house with my daughters just so I wouldn't have to look at my stuff. I mean, what I slowly began to understand was that there is a direct relationship between the amount of drama in your life and the resulting clutter that comes with it, physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. I mean, how many of you can relate to this? I mean, there is a drama to clutter ratio. The people who have the most drama tend to have the most clutter, and the more drama, the more clutter. And that's when I discovered this very odd phenomena. The drama to clutter ratio works both ways. I mean, the less clutter I had, the less drama I experienced. So that's when I began to put things back in their place, like the dishes back in the cabinet. I mean, I felt better about myself. That's when I started to put my mail away. I had a clearer head. The more I got organized in my physical space, the more my mental space sharpened and I got more productive. I mean, the more these things got in place, the more productive I got. I discovered that having an organized environment lifted me up. It made me proud again. It made me productive and healthy. In fact, having a productive, clear environment is the easiest and most effective way to start creating the life that you really want and achieve the dreams that you are looking for. Needless to say, after I was discovering this, I got back on track, began using my systems again, and you know what? In a little while, I'm going to talk to you about my systems. And that systems, the S in my re system, are the answer to so many problems that people are experiencing. So listen closely here. So, what you're going to learn today is the 3 places that you are leaking money and some simple organizing tips to recover it. You're also going to learn about how getting your workspace organized actually generates money and how to recover up to 3 hours of leisure time back, and how to create a beautiful space that enhances your productivity. In fact, I'm going to teach you how to set up your environment so it automatically makes you more productive. I mean, imagine what that could do to your bottom line. You're going to see exactly where the problems are. It'll be like walking down the street seeing a $100 bill where you just bend over and pick it up. We're going to do that through simple systems. I'm going to give you 3 key ways to see how creating a spa life is going to move you up to the next level. So, my desire for you is to have simple ways to create clear space on your desk and in your calendar so you can put your fingers on what you need and get that 3 hours back in your day right away. So, as you can imagine, there are a lot of things I could talk about to help you today. So, what I'm going to do in the limited time that we have together is to focus on a few things that will give you that time back. I'll help you be much more productive, and then I'll share with you how you can take this information into your life so it can make a lasting impact. So, why this matters so much is because we are bombarded daily with things that are distracting us and vying for our attention. For example, the average number of emails in someone's inbox is over 8,000. Add to that an average of more than 37 different folders. Studies show that you have a simple system in place, it is much easier to find what you need. Simplicity is the key here. The amount of paper you typically generate can be overwhelming. If you bring just one piece of paper a day into your home, that adds up quickly to an extra 360 pieces of paper a year. If you bring in 10 pieces of paper a day, that adds up to 3,600 pieces of paper a year. Can you see about how having a simple systems to deal with paper can save so much time, space, and energy? And in the end, what's important is that it's not about having neat piles on your desk. It's about having a life that excites you, one where you're moving fast in the direction that you want to, and even one where you're not working all the time. I mean, in order to do that, you've got to have clarity around what you're doing and why. We do that together by looking at your space and organizing it in a way to bring peace, order, and productivity to your life. So, what's the big deal about your environment anyway? I mean, the first key is that environment is stronger than willpower. I want you to hear that. Environment is stronger than willpower. I invite you to look at your environment like a dimmer switch versus an on off switch. Let's not look at this as black or white, organized or not organized, all or nothing extremes. Let's look at it as an opportunity to get organized in a dimmer switch fashion. We're turning up the light of organization to be brighter and brighter, where we create a space that inspires you to do better and be better. I mean, look, we all have great intentions. I mean, many times people rely on willpower to make things happen. Instead, let's focus on changing your environment and setting yourself up to win. Your environment impacts everything. If you're going to try to, for an example, if you're trying to lose weight, would you put 1,000 calorie cupcake on your kitchen counter and stare at it all day saying, I'm not going to eat that? Or how about not even bringing that cupcake into your house in the first place? I mean, why invite that cupcake into your environment? I call that sleeping with the enemy. Like, why would you have that in your space if it's not supporting you? Change begins with changing your environment. All of you are looking to reduce clutter in your life in order to create more peace, calm, and happiness. When it comes to creating your dream environment, think about how much stuff you're holding on to, stuff that's actually blocking your vision from becoming a reality. The father of Western yoga once said, environment is stronger than willpower. So when you get rid of these cupcakes from your space, you'll have a much better chance of turning your vision of calm, peaceful home into a reality. I mean, imagine going into an office that looks like this. I mean, look at the top of this desk. I mean, what kind of deals are you going to make from this messy desk? In fact, it's a little bit deceptive because, the floor is clear. At first glance, it looks clear. However, look at the mounds of things on top of the desk. I mean, really, this is a real office from one of my clients. What do you think is happening to your mind when you walk into an office like this and you see this desktop? Do you know that when you get distracted, it can actually take 45 minutes to get your mind back on task? So even though you've, you know, tuned out the stuff on your desk, or you think you have, what's really happening is that it's taking a really long time for you to get back on task. So as soon as you look away, you're distracted again. I mean, that is lost productivity. That's what's happening. And that is what happened with my client, Leah. She felt pretty organized and proud of running a six-figure business with her team of independent contractors, except she was overwhelmed and drained most of the time. I mean, how many of you can relate to that? I mean, I worked closely with Leah and her office, and that was one of the first areas that we worked on right away. She saw she had too many papers and projects on her desk. It was distracting her from making consistent progress. So, our work together had an amazing and immediate impact on her energy. I taught her to use my unique reset system. And after that, her day went from being organized chaos to being organized productivity. I mean, what a difference it made for her. Now she's getting more done in less time and she has more energy. She has a new filing system, and the boxes of stuff that she was going to sort out someday are now gone. With a desk that has only her current project on it, Leia can focus deeper and have more clarity and get her work completed faster. I mean, ultimately, her feelings of overwhelm and being drained have vanished. She feels more freedom and enjoys being productive and in her space and has lots more energy. The point is, you have to create space for success. You have to set up your environment to win. That creates the experience of spa life. Spa life is how I want you to feel in your space. It starts with your physical environment and spreads to all the other aspects of your life. So check out, some of the before and afters I have with some of my clients and what they've been able to do when we've worked together. This is my client Janet. Look how distracting this desk is. There are so many things to look at. It's hard to see anything. So look at the top shelf. There are so many things there. You can't find anything. Every time she sat down to work on one of her projects, there were 5 more vying for her attention. This was before we worked together. This is how it looked after some time of working with me. See, there's more space, there's more clarity. Her mind could actually rest and look at the space and have more clarity. I mean, she was able to focus on her most current project without being distracted by all the other stuff. I mean, looking side by side, notice how the distracted brain could get on the clutter desk and versus being more focused on the calm desk. I mean, looking at some more before and afters. Let's check those out. So let's spend some time with this. I hear many people say that cluttered piles don't impact them that much. However, when something is out of place, it actually throws you out of alignment. Subconsciously, your brain is looking at all the things that are out of alignment. So when this is corrected, you can put all your energy into just the next step forward rather than being scattered. So if your space isn't working, if you're not organized in your thoughts, if your relationship is not working, it's time to clear things up. So when you clear the things that are no longer serve you in the physical space, you can see other things open up. So the second key is that you make subtle changes that will save you tons of time and money. So I'm going to show you 3 places that you're leaking money and some simple organizing tips to recover it. I'm going to show you, I'm going to actually give you 30 seconds to write down places you've probably been wasting time, money, or resources because you can't put your fingers on what you need or on things that create mental clutter. All right. Don't want to have any mental clutter here. So things such as a loose board that you trip on, an outlet that doesn't work, window blinds that won't raise up because of a broken string. You keep forgetting coupons or you've got leads in your inbox that you haven't followed up on. So in other words, what have you been tolerating or putting up with in your office that might be slowing you down? Is it not having all the documents that you need in one place? I mean, how many piles of paper are on your desk? Does your computer boot up right away, or does it take a long time? Do so let's start making a list of the things that you're tolerating that cause drag on your energy or sucking, money from your space. So let's take 30 seconds. Very simple, quick thing. If you can grab a piece of paper and a pen and write this down, it'll be great to capture this. If you don't have that in front of you, then you can just, mentally go through this process. Because remember, tolerations cause drag, right? And they can take some time. And so I'm going to take just a couple seconds here where you can just write down anything that's coming in your mind of what you're tolerating. So remember, anything that is causing a drag and takes us longer to do, really stalls out all the things that we're doing, the distractions that we have. If it takes you an additional 5 minutes to find something or you have distractions, then it's costing you 30 extra hours a year of unproductivity or time you could be doing something else you love. And that's just with 5 minutes. I mean, my client Jennifer realized that there were so many tolerations in her home that she decided to move because she got the correlation that her space was causing drag in her ability to move faster in her business. I mean, is your environment in alignment with the speed in which you want to go? You want to ask yourself that. Is your environment supporting you? Is it the wealthy people who get organized when they have the space, or is it the space being organized that makes them wealthy? This shows you how to take a closer look at what you've been tolerating in your space. Very simple correlations can save you tons of time and money. So, the first way you're leaking time and money are those tolerations. So, next, let's look at the second way you're leaking time and money, which is email excess. Let me ask you, do you have more than 100 emails in your inbox? Do you even know how many emails you have in your inbox? Have you just surrendered to email overload? I mean, let's talk about how handling your email properly can easily make you money. When clients work more closely with me, I teach them all the aspects of how to deal with their computer and email clutter. But for right now, let me give you just one major way that you can save tons of time and money. Unsubscribe without hesitation. I'm going to say that again because sometimes simple things just go over our head and we don't really get how key that can be. Unsubscribe without hesitation. If you're not reading the emails and you know which ones you're not opening, unsubscribe. I mean, sometimes you might have FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. Trust me, you're missing out because you have that fear. I mean, if you lower the number of emails, you will lower the amount of your stress. So, to remove all of the emails that are not relevant to your life, first unsubscribe, then do a search to bring that sender up into a group. Then delete all of them associated with that. So, for example, say that you receive emails from a shopping website that you used just once several months ago, and you're not going to use them again. Be sure to unsubscribe. Then do a search for that site name and do a mass delete. This will clear hundreds of emails for you. And another example is my client Rhonda's inbox was so backlogged that she was missing people in her email that actually wanted to do work with her. When she finally organized and systemized her email, she discovered she had lost over 200,000 in business. I mean, how many of us can afford to lose that much in business because we can't find the people who are actually looking for us? So you can see how much money can be lost in just email alone. I want you to be able to use some of my simple systems to get a handle on that. So, as much as electronic clutter may be bogging you down, there's nothing that distracts the mind more than physical papers around you. So, the first way you're leaking time and money is tolerations. The second way you're leaking time and money is email access, the excess of that email. And the third and last way that you're probably leaking time and money is because of paper pileup. So when you let paper piles grow, you may be missing dividend checks or other money just waiting for you in your mail. Opportunity to cash in may be sitting in your mail. Bills that are inaccurate or misfiled, lead to things being overpaid or late. And all of that is wasted money that you could be putting in your pocket. I mean, wouldn't it be amazing if you didn't have any paper on your desk and as soon as you touched a piece of paper, you knew exactly where to put it? I mean, are you pretty organized? You have files and a file drawer with papers in them, but then there's that last little bit of paper that you're not even sure what to do with it. So they end up piling up on your desk or in your kitchen until suddenly you're searching for something saying, I know it's around here somewhere. I mean, that is the exact thing that happened to my client Kay. Her daughter had been accepted for a $50,000 scholarship as long as she completed a few requirements. That included filling out a form and turning in some receipts. Kay and her daughter searched high and low for the supporting documentation the school needed. They were not able to find them before the deadline and were denied the scholarship. Frustrated, Kay called me. We systemized her paperwork by removing anything that she didn't need. I taught her how to touch paper once, knowing what to do with each item as it came into her office or home. As I taught her how to use something I called an action box for her with files that had everything important that used to be on her desk so that they would always be there when she needed them. Amazing, right? So the action box is something that I give to clients I work closely with. And I'll share with you later how you can find out more about the action box. So, for now, let's talk about how to recover up to 3 hours per day by simply learning some organizing principles. I mean, imagine what that'll do to your bottom line. So, the key in organizing principles is knowing how to evaluate. So, you might be thinking, sure, Diane, I see that I want to get organized, but how do I even start? I mean, one thing I teach people is how to evaluate what to keep and what to toss. And that is a great place to start. And you can do this by asking yourself a series of questions. So, listen for this. When you pick up a piece of paper, ask yourself, what is this mail, note, or business card for? I want you to be able to touch a piece of paper just once and determine what to do with it. I mean, for example, don't ask for a business card if you don't plan on doing something with it. I mean, make a decision right there. I mean, it saves you time and keeps it off your to do list. That decision is either don't connect with that person and don't take the card in the first place, or if you do want to connect with them, put a connection call on your calendar right then. It saves time going back and forth trying to set up a call. When you take notes during a call or a meeting, decide, right, what to do with them right away, like the notes you've possibly been taking during this event. I mean, ask yourself what actions need to happen with these notes. So you can be writing a bunch of notes in there, but you want to have an action page in your notes where you're actually capturing these are the actions, the things that I am going to take, effort on, step on, something I actually need to do with it. So you can separate it out from the notes that are just, helping you with the learning. You've got the learning parts of it, but then you want to take out the action that supports you. What are you going to do from this learning? Right? So then you want to calendar those things right away. Your calendar is your mind in action. In order to solve your problem once and for all, you need to know how to evaluate. Keep in mind this principle. The more stuff you have, the more stuff you're anchored. You can't be free when you're anchored. I mean, as an example, my client Maddie, she was at a crossroads in her life, asking herself many of these same questions. She was divorced after 35 years of marriage and 40 years as a nurse. She found herself downsized from a large and lavish home into a one-bedroom apartment. When she called me to her space, Maddie had everything she owned on the living room floor of her apartment, a huge pile of clutter. She felt devastated and drained with the stuff on the floor. She couldn't sleep and she could not function. The clutter was a visual reflection of what was emotionally not working in her life. I mean, remember how we learned the drama to clutter ratio? Well, Maddie was experiencing just that. She was looking at all the things on her living room floor and believing that what that clutter represented was who she was as a person. I mean, as we worked together, I was able to show her who she really was inside and helped her realize who she wanted to be and how she wanted to show up in the world. We set to work, and as her space cleared up, she cleared up. She began to shine with new possibilities. I mean, let me ask you, in what ways do you know that there are things that are not working in your life? I mean, look, you know it's time to start asking yourself the hard questions. What are you hiding? Where are you playing small? I mean, you know it's time to do something different. You need the consistency and the thought process to succeed. You have to create the environment to win. Simply put, that's why you haven't succeeded at a higher level because you've been trying to do it all by yourself in an environment that's literally fighting against you every step of the way. I mean, if it's not pulling you forward, it's dragging you down. Now, let's look at how your environment may be fighting against you. I'm going to have you do a simple exercise. What we're going to do is this. Remember how I was sharing with you how I wanted you to have your home have the same feeling as being in a spa? Well, there's a sense of serenity and peace and order and clarity of mind. Well, let's journey together into this spa life experience. I'd like you to take a moment and close your eyes. Now, hopefully, you're not driving, but if you are, pull off to the side. I invite you to give yourself this time. It's just going to be just for a few moments. So I'd like you to close your eyes. And now I'd like you to imagine walking into the door of a spa. Just feel yourself walking into that door. Notice how you feel at the spa. I want you to visually and mentally look around the spa and consider what is in the spa. What are some of your favorite smells in a spa? Got that? Got that kind of anchored in that picture? Now we're going to journey to your home. And I'd like you to imagine a room in your home that if you changed it, it could positively impact your finances or your life in some meaningful way. And I want you to take in everything that you see. And I want you to experience being in that room. Got it? All right, so I'd like you to slowly open up your eyes and keep in mind that there are things that both work and don't work in a room. When the room you just envisioned in your home, please jot down what's working in that room. Just mentally bring back everything that's working for you in that room. Things that you love, systems that work, anything about that room that's working for you. And then I'd also like you to jot down what's not working in that room. Anything that maybe is causing drag or any systems that aren't working. Maybe it's clutter, something that's not working for you in that room. And then I'd like you to take a minute to ask yourself, what would make it more ideal? What would it take to get it to match your ideal vision? Maybe just jot down a couple thoughts. Does it seem impossible? Well, I am here to tell you that it is possible. And this is the key to creating a spa life. Why wait till someday to have the space that you want? You work too hard to wait. Most people never get started because they think it's too hard, or they get halfway through and they give up, leaving dumping grounds or seed piles that regrow over and over. This is the part where people get tripped up. They don't know how to evaluate effectively their papers, their space, their life. They don't see the possibility. They don't see what you are now beginning to see. So, what I just showed you was the importance of being organized and the skills you need to properly evaluate your papers in your office. Knowing how to evaluate is an absolutely essential skill you need if you are ever going to have any hope of creating an environment that really supports you. So now I'd like to share with you what else you need to take today's immediately useful information and actually have it have a lasting difference so you can truly create your own spa life. So what I want for you is to have environments that feel peaceful as walking into a spa. Would you like to hear what else you need to do that? Great. So I'm going to walk through with you what else you need to do. Evaluation is actually just one part of the system I use with clients who work more closely with me. Evaluation, which we just went over, is the second part of that system, which I call my reset system. I'm going to walk through the reset system with you. So first of all, notice that even though you know how to evaluate, there are a few problems that remain. One, how do you make time to do it? Two, how come when you start, you never finish? And three, just thinking about the space itself can be so overwhelming for you. And four, how do you make sure that you can limit the amount of paper and stuff that comes into your house in the first place? And five, how can you be more efficient so you don't shift and sift through the same papers over and over again? If you don't know how to get through these things and you don't have the support to do it, chances are you'll get stopped before you even get started, right? So here are the steps to the reset system. The first step R is to remove items. This is so that you can reduce items in your space so you only have what you love. That way you can get to the things you need quickly and feel amazing in your space. Now, I showed you how your brain feels in a messy and clean office. Just know that my reset system is transferable in all your spaces. And we don't live in a bubble. Every room we walk into either supports us or it doesn't. So let's look at a few more examples of how this works. If you want to experience serenity, sex, sleep, your bedroom should look like this. Notice how we're incorporating the same feeling that we had in a spa into our bedroom. You can feel this serenity in the space. There is nothing on the floor and it is inviting rest. Here's another style that's more frilly, and you can imagine having sweet dreams in this place. There are no distractions from papers or clutter marring the sanctuary. So notice in this one, this is kind of tricky because you can actually see the floor in this room, yet you could never completely rest in this room. It's what I refer to as orderly clutter. I mean, none of these things should be in a bedroom because it keeps the mind active with things to do. This space should have the intention of relaxation, and it's only achieved without clutter. So you can see here how you could easily rest in this space. Many of you have gone to bed with work on your mind in a space where your computer is just inches from your head. I mean, how could you ever have deep rest in this space? I mean, this is the kind of sanctuary I want you to go to bed in and wake up in each morning. This is spa life. Just as your bedroom is a place for your body to rest, your closet is a reflection of how your body shows up in the world. I mean, often it's one of the first places you go in the morning. So let's start your day off right. Here's a closet I worked on with my client. You may actually not even notice that there is a blue wall in this picture because the clutter is so distracting. I mean, even with all your things inside here, you can still enjoy the blue wall with more open space and easily select your clothing. An orderly closet makes getting ready in the morning faster and ever so simple. Now, I know you'll want to see this side by side. I mean, many of my clients have a small closet. Small can still be clutter free while having all the things that you need inside. Very simple changes here. So, I've given you many examples of the first step of my system, which is to remove so you can start enjoying more simplicity in your life. So, the second step of my system, which we already covered, is to evaluate. This is so you can ask yourself why you have something, what do you need it for, and to get rid of anything that you no longer need, especially things like outdated tax paperwork, right? So, the third step is to systemize, which includes redesigning your space to put things in place that you use them and have easy access. If you want to be able to have things in the areas that you use them, that's what you need to do. Put things in the area that you're using them so you're not wasting time retracing your steps just to get to things. Your systems should be a reflection of how you use something and in the way that you use them, so you're maximizing your time. The fourth step is to experience the ease of your system. This is to reinforce your new system is working for you, to make any tweaks that are needed, and to make your experience work best. This makes sure that you enjoy being in your space. And the final step of my reset system is to track and maintain your system. This is to ensure you restore things to where they belong and incorporate that into your life by making them habits. So let's talk about what it takes to track and maintain your stuff. Have you ever, gotten to the point where you've got your house organized or finally got through stacks of mail and lo and behold, before you know it, you have a pile of paper again? Well, maybe not you, of course, right? So let's walk through what would it actually take to maintain that space. So let's look at what happens for most of us. You walk over to the mailbox, grab your mail, you're in such a hurry, you put it on the counter, grab some dinner, then run off to your next thing. The next day, this happens again. Over time, you end up with this huge pile of mail on your counter. Well, let me tell you this little story about my client, Holly. She's a very successful lawyer who found herself trapped in that cycle of having unopened mail. It got so bad that she actually had decades of unopened mail. She was at the point of not having people over because she was embarrassed by the piles. Now, I know no one here would ever let it get that bad. However, I wanted to show you that even in the worst case, people can actually kick this problem and make it really easy and fun. I mean, the key is helping you find your way to making it fun, right? That's exactly what I specialize in and why you should book a call with me. I mean, so that we can look and help you find your way. Now, I've got something, that is something that for those of you that would like to take this to the next level and to turn today's useful information into a lasting transformation. So here's what I've got for you. So I'm going to walk you through what is available for you here. So remember when I was talking earlier about wouldn't it be amazing if you had exactly what you need at your fingertips? Wouldn't it be amazing if you knew exactly what to keep and what to toss? and not have fear of throwing something away because you thought you might need it later? And wouldn't you love to experience that spa feeling all the time? That's where I can help you. Learning the things you need to make you super productive, super efficient, having money in flow and flow in because you now have the space for it all while being relaxed and enjoying your environment. Well, you'll have an opportunity to discuss that with me. And I'd love to have that conversation with you to support. Now, this isn't for everyone. Not everyone is ready to take the steps needed to invest in yourself. And I understand that. For those of you that are ready, I have an amazing opportunity for you. I know if you're here, then you are really committed to being productive. You're invested in the time to watch this webinar to learn the skills to be far more productive, and I want to honor that investment. My free gift to you is a free one-on-one conversation with me. This is for a free clutter to calm strategy session. These sessions are $497, but I'm going to do them for you at no charge, absolutely free. To reserve your time with me, go to dianehalfman.com/session. This is what you're going to get from your strategy session. We're going to take a look at what is your best next move to get organized and be more productive in your life immediately. Then we'll see if and how I can help you get there. And I really want to be able to serve you because you've taken the time to be here. And because of that, I've made space in my calendar for 8 of these clutter to calm strategy sessions in the next 2 weeks. And again, I'm giving them as a complimentary gift, totally free, just for you for being here on the call. The call is going to help us zero in on your specific situation to identify your best next moves to not only reduce clutter, but to create the excellence that you want in all the areas of your life. The single most important thing for you is to set up your environment now because your environment is going to pull you towards your goals. So if you are ready to reach those goals, and you want to speak with me about the fastest way to get there, then go ahead and reserve your space. Again, I only have room for 8. So if you'd like to speak with me, please make sure and go to dianehalfman.com/session right away. So you'll be able to book your session as soon as you go to dianehalfman.com/session. That is SESSION. And we can have that conversation together to get you on the path to change some of these habits that weren't supporting you. So while I would love for every one of you to schedule a strategy session, I don't have room for that. So don't delay and get yours scheduled right away. And so remember, it's not about creating neat stacks of paper. It's about creating a space and life that you love. Being more organized allows you to create those things. Clement Watt has one of my favorite quote and something that I live by. And it is take the first step, no more, no less, and the next step will be revealed. Your first step was being here today. Congratulate yourself for that. You were taking that step. And your next step that's also already been revealed to you is to go to dianehalfman.com/session. That is your path to identify your best next move to creating the life that you love. And it's been my absolute pleasure to spend this time with you. So remember, go to dianehalfman.com/session, and then you'll be able to have that free one-on-one call with me. I just want to thank you. Thank you for joining me and spending this time with me. And remember, everyone, live your spa life. Bye for now. Hey guys, I thought I would just do this impromptu and jump back on because I see that 19 of you are still hanging out here. And so Carrie and I thought it would be kind of fun just to jump back on and say hi. And I just wanted to have an extra thank you for being here. And you know how at the end of a movie, you kind of wait to see whether there's going to be bloopers or if something else is going to happen and is it really over or that's happening? So I thought I'd just jump back in and say hi to you and just thank you for spending this time with me and to really be able to let me share ways that I can support you. And hopefully, with you still being here, maybe you would copy down some of the information to get on a call. And I'm really, really looking forward to supporting you and helping you create your spa life and starting with your systems and your structures. And I hope that you found this time valuable together. I love sharing ways to help people get more productive and profitable. And I know it starts with that workspace. So if you're sitting here and you have one of those desks that you saw that fly by that is not supporting you, then I invite you to get off this call right now and get on and book a call with me. Let's change that. I mean, if it's been happening for a while and you know that it's stopping you, what are you waiting for? Like, this is another kind of inspiration coming to you live to have you look at, how long has it been like this? I mean, really, let's look at it. Is if you know that this is stopping you, and, it's kind of like that whole, like, if you keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting there to be change, but you haven't changed anything, you got to do something different. Let's get on a call. Let's talk about this. Let's see how, I mean, it obviously sparked enough interest in you to actually get on this call. Hopefully, you got some really great tools to be able to start doing some implementation. However, if you're still on here and you know that there is something else that you need, some support, some accountability. I look at it in terms of, there's some people that kind of feel like, mm, that they feel like they should innately know how to organize and that they maybe don't feel wanting to ask people for help. And I kind of attribute that to like having a personal trainer. We all know how to do jumping jacks and sit-ups, right? But what happens when you have a trainer? I mean, that's when you excel and you really do wonderful in your health and your fitness. It's kind of similar to that with organizing. I mean, if they would have had an organizing class in high school, you probably would have taken the class, right? So if you didn't really know how to do that and you weren't getting support, let me be that support for you. I would love to walk through that with you, give you those simple tools and have this how your environment is not supporting you, have that being a thing of the past. I mean, if you're here, I know you want that spa life. I mean, it's fabulous to walk into your home and feel proud, right? Feel proud. I want that for you. So once again, I'm going to sign off. I want to thank you for your time. I'd love to support you. Jump on my calendar. Let's have a conversation. And remember, until then, live your spa life. Bye again.